So are most coin shops being fair to you, or at least some of them, when you go to sell your silver? Now, many of us know the best way to sell your silver is on your own because you don't have to pay the middleman, which is the coin shop. But if you do have to go into a coin shop, if you want to remove the hassle of trying to sell it on your own and have to worry about everything that comes along with that, and you just want to walk into a coin shop and walk out with cash, you expect them to be fair with you. But are they? Well, today we're going to explore that, and I'm going to share with you some data that not only I got from last week's video where I called coin shops, but I'm actually going to call some more coin shops today, and I'm going to find out what they're paying for 90% silver today. We'll actually call 8 more for a total of 15 coin shops in today's video, and then at the end of the video, I'm going to talk about whether or not these coin shops are actually being fair. My channel is sponsored by sdbullion.com. New customers can get their first order of gold or silver at spot by going to sdbullion.com/new. All right, so these first 7 coin shops, you already know what they said if you saw that video I did the other day. I'll put it right here and a link down below. If you haven't seen it yet, go check it out because I actually recorded and shared with you the audio from those coin shop calls. In today's video, I'm just going to share with you the data, and then the other 8 shops that I called today, I'm actually going to go ahead and show you the numbers as well, but they're in 2-party consent state, so we weren't able to record. But let's start with our first shop. Now, this is from that video, the 1,000 face video, and at the time, spot was $24.65. It is higher today, so we will have to do math to figure out what that dollar was back of spot. But with this shop at the time at $24.65, you can see 15.5 times face, or $15.50 per dollar for dimes and quarters, was $2.95 back of spot. Half dollars, they paid a little bit more at $2.25 back of spot, or 16 times face. Shop number 2 was $17 per dollar. Now this was a much more fair offer. We'll get into that at the end of the video because I'm also going to show you wholesaler prices, and those wholesaler prices will show you what I mean when I say they were being fair. But this shop at 17 times was 85 cents back of spot at 17 times face, again at $24.65. Shop number 3, they offered us actually more for 1,000 face value than they did for 100 face value. I'm going to talk to you about why that is as well, so stick with me. But spot $24.65, they offered us $14.75 per dollar, which by the way, I'm not saying is fair. I'm just saying that's what they offered us, and why they offered us more for 1,000. But 1,000, they offered us $15.25. Now the math on that comes out to $4 back of spot for $100 face value, $3.30 for $1,000 face value. And if you're wondering how I get that math, it's actually quite simple. So let's look at the $100 face value. They offered us $14.75 per dollar. So that means that for every dollar face value, every 4 quarters, 2 halves, 10 dimes, however you mix it up, they're going to give us $14.75. Now, to get a full ounce of silver, you need $1.40 of face value, 90% silver. So if we just take $14.75 and multiply it by 1.4, or $1.40, you can see that comes out to $20.65. Now, if we subtract that from what spot price was, which was $24.65 at the time, you can see that that gives us $4 back of spot. Shop number 4, they offered us $12 per dollar. This was abysmal. $7.85. Now in that video, I actually gave them the benefit of the doubt because the owner wasn't in, but many of you commented down below and said, look, the owner probably was going to offer the same thing as well. Otherwise, why would she know that's about what they're paying, right? Maybe she was just giving us the more honest number. Shop number 5 here, they offered us 17 times again, which is 85 cents back of spot at $24.65. Shop number 6, 16.5 times face, or $16.50 per dollar, which comes out to $1.55 back of spot. And shop number 7 offered us 85 cents back of spot at 17 times face. Now we're going to move in the shops today that I called, and keep in mind I'm recording this on April 2nd, so spot could be down by the time this comes out, or it could be up. I don't know. It has been going up, but we'll see. But taking a look at shop number 8, you can see this is a shop out in California. They offered us $15.75 per dollar, and that is with the current spot price at $25.75. That comes out to $3.70 back of spot. Pretty low. I think we can do better. Shop number 9, here we go. Shop number 9 out in Washington. And by the way, this is not the best. There's actually one a little bit better. This one was $18 per dollar, 55 cents back of spot. That's really not bad at all. Next up, we have, wait, that's not Washington. All right, so I checked my notes. Shop number 10 was actually Florida, not Washington. Fortunately, I did write it down as I was making the calls. I typed it in wrong when I was putting up the notes. But this shop offered us $18.25 per dollar. That is only spot minus 20 cents. Guys, that's actually pretty good once you see what I'm going to show you at the end of this video. Many of you might be like, why would I sell it for less than melt value? But again, remember, coin shops have to make money, And based on what I'm going to show you, you're going to see 18.25 for a coin shop's actually pretty good, but let's keep going. Shop number 11, Illinois, 17 times, $1.95 back of spot. Keep in mind, we had a shop offer us 17 times when spot was $1 lower, $1.10 lower actually at 17 times. So, you know, there's definitely better shops as we saw with the 18. And next up, we have Arkansas. This shop coming in at $15.50 per dollar. That is spot minus $4.05. Shop number 13 out of Michigan, a little bit better, but still a little bit back of spot at $2.65 back of spot when they offered us $16.50 per dollar. Shop number 14. This one is located in the great state of Texas. And again, we have $18 per dollar, 55 cents back of spot. And finally, Arizona, same numbers, $18 per dollar, 55 cents back of spot. All right, I've probably bored so many of you at this point, but I love looking at things from a data perspective, and that's what I'm going to be doing here. So you guys know over the years, I've been tracking Silver Eagles and Silver Round premiums going back all the way to 2021 with the Silver Squeeze. I'm going to start doing with buy prices when I call coin shops as well. So every time I do a buy call for 90%, you know, whether it be in a few months before I do it again, we're going to update these numbers and see what it's looking like so we can track it. And as we get closer to having like 5 or 6 samples, we will even start doing charts. But let's take a look at this and stick with me, guys. And by the way, if you want to see more of these videos and you guys like learning about the data and seeing what the numbers actually look like, make sure you subscribe. It really helps me out. I appreciate it. Let's take a look at 327.24. You can see spot price at the time was $24.65. We had an average per dollar face value of $15.75 per dollar. Now that is including the shop that offers 12. If we remove that, it actually goes up to $16.38, which comes out to an average melt price of $22.93 based on a spot price of $24.65. That means on average, shops were offering us 93% of spot. Now, if you look at today, and we're going to put that 12 back because even though it's really bringing these numbers down, it still was a shop that we called. So we're going to keep it. But if we look at 4.2, you can see that we have an average here of 17.13, but that's based on a spot price of $25.75, which comes out to $23.98 per ounce or 93.11% of spot. But some of these shops were as low as $15.50, where we had a shop, we had 1, 2, 3 shops at 18 and one at $18.25. That's actually pretty good. And here's why I say that. This is a screenshot from a wholesale buy list that is accurate as of today. And keep in mind when looking at these numbers that coin shops have to make money. They have to make a profit. They have bills to pay. They have employees. They have overhead, you know, with the building and whatnot. They have to pay taxes. And of course, they don't themselves, the owners, work for free either. A lot of coin shop owners work in their shops and they need to take care of themselves as well and pay their, you know, their own living expenses. So if you go to work, you don't go to work and then tell your boss at the end of the week not to give you your paycheck. Nah, I don't need it, right? No, of course not. Well, coin dealers are the same. So take a look at this. This wholesaler is buying 90%. If we look at the $100 to $999 face value for 20 cents back of spot, and they're selling it, by the way, they're selling it for 55 cents over spot. And how they do this is they take spot price, they subtract 20 cents, and then they multiply it by 715. So with our calculator here, you can see we'll take 25.75 minus 20 cents. That leaves us with 25.55. Now we'll multiply that by 0.715. That's because there's 0.715 ounces of silver per dollar face value. That means that this wholesaler is paying $18.26, basically $18.27. That's what they are paying if dealers had to ship it off to them. Now they're paying a little bit more for half dollars. You can see that right here. So, you know, they get a little bit more for halves, but it's not a major difference. Now, if we use the spot price from the other day in that video where we were getting shops that were offering, you know, $17 per dollar, we had $24.65 times 0.715. That means they were paying at that time $17.63. Okay. So 1763, 1827, that's the numbers that we are working with. These are the numbers that the coin shops, when they don't have enough retail customers to sell their silver to, and they have to wholesale it out so they can keep buying, this is what they have to look at. This is the numbers that they are expecting to get. So now that we know the numbers from the wholesaler, let's take a look at our offers again. So take a look at this. We had Shop 3 offer us $18.25 per dollar. If they had to wholesale it out to that wholesaler, they wouldn't be able to. 2 cents per $1 face value means a $1,000 bag, they would only profit 20 bucks, and they'd actually lose money by the time you figure payroll, shipping, insurance. They would actually lose money by buying it at $18.25 if they had to depend on sending it off to a wholesaler to buy it from them. So this shop right here definitely is depending on retail customers to buy it from them, and they probably have the clientele to do it, so that's great. Same goes for all of these shops that offered 18. 27 cents per dollar is not much. It's about $270 for a 1,000 face value bag. And keep in mind, 1,000 face value at $18 is $18,000. So making $270 before shipping and insurance to move it out to a wholesaler on an $18,000 purchase means that this shop is making basically nothing from a percentage standpoint. Now, these shops that are paying $15.50, even $16.50, $15.75, for sure, they are probably more dependent on shipping that silver out to wholesalers. And so they probably don't have the retail clientele to buy it at the strong numbers that some of these other shops do. Now, you might be thinking to yourself, well, still, they're still buying it back a spot, and that's not fair to me. So I want to show you one more thing. Looking back at our wholesale sheet, you can see that if the dealers needed to get 90% when they needed it instead of when a customer has to sell it to them for the customer's reasoning, they could buy it for just 55 cents over spot. So let's do that math right here. Take a look. So if we grab our calculator and we do our 25.75 plus 0.5, 50 cents, that means they're paying 26.25. And if we multiply it by 0.715, that means these wholesalers or these shops could buy it from a wholesaler for $18.77, and they could do it when they need it. So if we go back to our spreadsheet and we subtract that $18.76 from $18.25 they were paying across the counter, they could buy it for just 50 cents per face value more on their demand instead of yours. This shop is actually being really fair. If they offered any more, then they may as well just buy it from the wholesaler when they need it instead of buying it across the counter at all, meaning that you would have to sell it on your own regardless. Now look, I showed you the numbers, but that doesn't mean, and I really hope you're watching because I imagine so many people are going to comment down below before they get to this portion of the video. Look, I said at the beginning of this video that the best thing you can do if you're wanting to maximize the money that you get from selling your silver is to sell it yourself. But that comes with so many extra hurdles. You have to ship it. You have to insure it. You have to worry about it getting lost. When you walk into a shop, they give you the money, you walk out, and everything is their responsibility. That doesn't mean that you should then sell your silver for 12 times face like we saw Shop 4 offer us last week, or even $15.50 or $15.75 like we see some of the shops offer us today. I'm not saying you should do that. What this is telling you is that you, as a stacker, you can go out and you can find. We found 4 shops out of 8 today that offered us at least 18. So you don't have to settle for this. If you don't want to deal with a shop that's only paying $16.50 or $15.75, you don't have to. You can keep shopping around. You can find somewhere to sell it better. If you want to support that shop that's paying a little bit less because it's your local shop and you want to support local businesses, that's awesome. I'm all for that. But at least you know going in the data so you know what you can reasonably expect, and then you can use this data to make an intelligent and informed decision for when you sell your silver. So that's all we're trying to do here today. We're not trying, when I do these videos, it is never about throwing shops under the bus. That's why we don't release the name of the shop. That's why we bleep out the name of the shop when they answer. That's why we use a voice changer when we record the calls. I don't care about throwing a shop under the bus. Even the shop that offered us 12 times, I'm not going to throw them under the bus. All I'm going to do is show you what you can expect when you go out and you go to sell your silver. And the same goes for when I call shops to see what they're selling it for, so you know what you should expect when going out to buy it. That's what these videos are for. So I hope you guys understand where we're coming from here. That video the other day, many people said that, hey, what, you expect shops not to make anything? Of course, I know shops have to make money. I didn't criticize a single one of the shops in that video last week, not one. Watch it back and you will not see any criticism from me for any single one of them. Even shop that offered us 12, I gave the benefit of the doubt because maybe the owner wasn't in and they had a different price. So guys, again, I hope that you've watched this far. I hope you like this video. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't done so yet, and if you want to see more videos like this, because I really appreciate it. I'm going to put this video up here if you haven't seen it yet. It's the video where I actually called the shops. You can listen to the audio right now and hear what they had to say. Other than that, guys, thank you so much for watching. We will see you next time, and have a great rest of your day.